Looking at situation A, situation B, and situation C. Okay, so in situation A, we have a decrease in the expected future price level, or the expected future price level decreases. My mistake. So here we are going to write price level, which I'm going to abbreviate with PL. Over here we are going to have real GDP. Okay, so we have the long run aggregate supply curve, long run aggregate supply curve, and here we are going to have a short run aggregate supply curve. Okay. So if the expectation of the future price level decreases, that means that we expect input prices to decrease, which means that it will cost less for us to make the same products that we already make. So if it costs less, we'll be able to make more. So our short run aggregate supply curve will have shifted rightwards to SRA S1. Okay. For situation B, we are going to have, again, the long run aggregate supply curve. We're going to label our axes with price level and real GDP. Then we're going to have our short run aggregate supply curve. And here in this example, we know that we previously underestimated the price level. So if we previously underestimated it, that means the prices are more expensive now than we thought it would be. That means that it costs more to make the same outputs than we thought it would cost. So that means that we can now make less because it costs more to make it. So we're going to have a decrease or a leftward shift in our short run aggregate supply curve. And for situation C, where we also have price level and real GDP on our axes. Oops. Okay. We are going to have our long run aggregate supply curve and our short run aggregate supply curve. So if there isn't a positive technical change that influences our short run aggregate supply curve to shift rightwards, like so. So this is our short run aggregate supply curve. Because if we have more technology now, we can make more in the short run, which means that we're able to produce more output. And then in the long run, we also have a shift in the long run aggregate supply curves. So we get LRAS1 because a positive technical change also influences your long run aggregate supply and will cause an increase in your real GDP. So I want to make you guys aware, I feel like one of the questions you might have is, why did the long run aggregate supply curve shift here, but it didn't shift in situation A and B? Well, in situation A and B, we have a change in the price level. It's not really, it's a change in the expectation or how much we estimated, but it's essentially a change or an influence of the price level. And price level, as we have spoken before, does not change the long run aggregate supply curve. The long-run aggregate supply curve is a vertical curve, which means that if you move up and down the y-axis, which is the price level, there will be absolutely no change in the value of the long-run aggregate supply curve. The only factors that do influence your long-run aggregate supply curve is a change in the number of workers, change in capital stock, and a change in the available technology. So that is the end of this question.